The reason that we're having the meeting is for the public to express their opinion with regards to the sale of the Cornwall General Hospital. There's for sale signs on it. The asking price is $2 million.
I understand, and I learned from an official source today that they've already received the bid. I can't tell you how much the bid is, but the bid has already been received. So if we're going to take action, we have to take action right away. There can't be any delay.
Since the news release that this hospital would be sold for 1/30th of its value, a speculated assessment, sadly, due to the secrecy behind this transaction, we can only speculate what the Cornwall General Hospital may become.
It's been assessed at $60 million, and you're giving it away for $2 million? Don't just give it away. That's insane.
We have hospital administrators going to city council. Let's borrow $50,000 from the city, and they're only selling the hospital for $2 million. Why are they asking for money, these sunshine people? I think if the city, the ones that are sitting here, should ask them, why are you asking for money when you're giving away a damn hospital? It ain't right.
The deepest concern that I've heard is the issue of long-term care beds.
There are currently 32 long-term care beds, which at the cost of $1 million were put in a year ago, and which are now going to disappear.
The wait list is long for long-term care. We also know that handicap housing or accessible housing, the wait list is 7, 8, 9 years. If you have a loved one that's in a wheelchair and needs social housing that's wheelchair accessible, the wait list is very long. Seniors housing, medical facilities, we all know that there's a demand.
We cannot continue to transport our loved ones like cattle to available beds within the Champlain Local Integrated Health Network.
My concern is those with medical issues who need dialysis on a regular basis. Are we going to be shipped off like cattle to Montreal, Kingston, or Ottawa? With an aging population, a lot of us live on limited incomes. How are we going to afford to get there and back?
This is not only a Cornwall issue, but this is an SDNG issue as well as in Prescott Russell.
I feel that discussions must take place with the Champlain Local Integrated Health Network to investigate other alternatives before any sale takes place. Perhaps a co-op could be formed with local investors to keep the facility operating for years to come.
I would suggest very strongly, for the price of a good lawyer, that the city should maybe go that route, put a halt to the sale, have an inquiry, find out why the price is so low, find out why everything's been done behind closed doors, and go that route.
I brought this motion to sit on the health board, and we have representatives in the 5 counties, and they supported 100% to set up a task force to take a look at this thing, to see whether or not it's feasible for long-term care. We were not even given the opportunity to sit with them and have this task force. And this is not a secret to the hospital board, because we visited the General Hospital early in the spring to take a look around and see what was there. And they knew we were looking for a task force to look at this thing. I received an email 21st of December from Dr. Paul indicating that Chantal Leclerc was ready to meet with me, and I received another email this morning confirming that from her. I CC'd Dr. Paul confirming it. I don't want to meet with her. I want the Board of Health to meet with her. The reason why they don't want to meet with the Board of Health, I feel, is because it will become a public meeting. And in this email, they're going to invite this body to come down to that meeting also. I think the meeting should be held here in Cornwall, and it should be open to the public, and the Board of Health members should be there to hear what she has to say and her reasons. Another question I'm looking at, and I hear some numbers here this evening, $60 million, I don't know, but $2 million for a facility that size, you couldn't change half the windows there for $2 million.
Yeah, my name is Ed Halliwell. I was the facilities manager of the 2nd Street site for 25 years. But when the decision was made to operate one hospital, City Council sent representatives with the Hotel Du board and management to the Minister of Health in Toronto. And the decision was made at that point in time to have a single site hospital. The decision to sell one of the sites was made at that time. It was the 2nd Street site that was deemed to be closed. The amalgamation process started in 1995 or 96 when the District Health Council was in place. And the original decision was to have all acute care services at the 2nd Street site and all long-term care services at the McConnell site. And the original figure that was submitted to the ministry and was approved by the ministry was approximately 66 million, or 65 or 66 million dollars. And City Council and the Hotel Du Board said that the city could not afford that amount of money to be spent on hospital services in the city. And that was based on $2002. And we're now spending in excess of $120 million at the Hotel Du, and we're not done yet.
And I know somebody personally who is a cousin of my husband who was on the board at the General and did not know that it had been switched over to the other site until it was in the paper the next morning. That's real communication.
Building has been looked at. It has lauded me to repair. I don't know how much. There's a lot of asbestos in the building.
I walk into that clinic 3 or 4 times a week, and I was told that the asbestos was cleared. They took 2 weeks of what if they didn't remove the asbestos, what the hell did they do that 2 weeks?
There is asbestos, yes, in the clinic building. The clinic building, I believe, has been closed. No, the clinic building, the old clinic building is closed. And the reason that it's closed is that they had a flood and the asbestos covering on the piping was damaged. And rather than repair it, they just closed the building down. There is a tiny bit of asbestos left on the 2nd floor in the ceiling of what was the intensive care unit. It's sealed, but if the building gets changed or if they have to do a major renovation in that area, then yes, they would have to take that asbestos out. The remaining asbestos-filled building was removed in 1989-90 when they did the rehab.
The clinic portion is pretty dilapidated, and a lot of money's got to be spent.
I'm not a hospital employee, but I do work at the hospital. I'll be there all weekend. I've walked through every inch and corner of that hospital, and they say it's damaged. Well, yes it is, because they purposely let it go because they had no desire to keep it open.
And I don't believe that the hospital is dilapidated. We are entitled to know what they are trying to do and why they're taking it away from us.
I personally think that there's a movement to privatize healthcare, and the best way to do that is by creating shortages. If it's $2 million, the city should spend the $2 million and take it out of the hands of the ministry and perhaps encourage the development of a co-op for seniors care.
We are short as a council right now $2 million from the province to meet our social needs, the social welfare needs, and we are short in tip and fee. So we are scratching our heads to make our budget come up without raising the taxes right now.
Where's that money come from? We know the province has no money. And we're having a hard time right now, even in this budget, to keep the upkeep to that place. And the provincial government has no strategy for long-term care. They have none. And I'm not just hammering the current government, the previous one didn't either. There is no strategy to take care of people like myself and most of you in this room.
So come up with one.
Yes, that's up to the province to do it. It's not to the municipal government.
And you're looking at between $300 and $400 per square foot to rebuild. The problem is that the minute you change the use of a building, you have to get, of course, building permits, and the building then has to be brought up to the current codes for the use that you want to use it for. So if it's long-term care, then you have to bring that building up to long-term care standards. The hospital building itself at 510 is about 175 or 180,000 square feet. The operating costs of the building are about $1 million a year, and that's for natural gas and hydro. Now, if the building uses are changed, the air conditioning ventilation rates can be changed, and that can probably be lowered. But the other big issue will be property taxes. As an acute care hospital, the hospital pays the city a tax based on the number of beds in operation. The minute the building is no longer deemed an acute care facility, then the tax that's levied against the board then will be at whatever the tax rate is. And that would be considerably higher than the taxes that the hospital currently pays on the property. City council with members would know what that rate is. I think at one time it was around $500 per bed per year. You know, $300 to $400 per square foot to renovate, and you wouldn't have to renovate the whole building if you decided that you wanted to renovate 80,000 square feet to be a long-term care facility. Those are probably numbers that are worthwhile to think about. The third floor, I was partially involved in that rehab unit. I think that was around the it was under the $1 million, around $800,000 to renovate and open that. And that was done by the hospital, knowing that it was going to be a short-term fix. That was never meant to be a permanent operation. It was always planned that it was short-term. It was to get them out of a bed crunch until they got the other building, the McConnell site, finished. Now, the bigger question in all of this is, do they really have enough room at the McConnell site to take over all of the services that are currently left at the general site? And I don't believe there is. I know that there are still problems, and they're still looking for areas or place to house some of those services.
And hearing there was one gentleman said his resolve was that council take the position that and use the opportunity to block the sale. We want to be careful because we do want to see the issue of long-term care. We want to see that addressed, and the issues affecting seniors. In other words, it's a medical facility. We don't want to see it turned over and somebody's going to make whatever they're. Where we're in the dilemma as a group, as a community, is that if a non-profit organization does not step forward, it could become a for-profit facility. So just to say that we wanted to block the sale may not necessarily be so, because there could be a non-profit group out there that wants to take control of the facility. Nobody has stepped forward at this point.
But just getting a bed is not what I want. I see what goes on at the other places, entertainment, your family can come in and eat your meals with you and stuff like that. I mean, just getting a bed and laying down. I can do that at home and have somebody pay them to come and see me. So, but it can be fixed, I imagine, but it's going to cost more than $2 million. So if you're going to buy it and just leave it the way it is and shove somebody in a room like as if when you're going for an operation or something, that'll kill them, that'll break their hearts. It has to be fixed up properly so those people, hey, I've worked 58 years of my life and I don't want to have to go into a room and just lie down there and die.
Why do we have to call, email, or whatever to our MPP? They already know the problem. How come we've got to get to this to do things?
My name is David Murphy, and I'm in a unique position. I do represent our member of Provincial Parliament, Jim McDonnell, and he sends his regrets. He could not be here, but that's why I'm here, and I can show you the 2+ pages of notes I've already taken, and I plan to take more based on your comments and your reactions. And we encourage you, if you so choose, and you want to contact the MPP, do so by email, stop in at the office, or call the office, and we can take a message on your behalf. And it does get forwarded, and Jim takes it beyond the office as well. So if you do want to do that, we encourage it, and you can contact us. And again, email is the best way. Then we have a true hard copy, but we can also take notes for you as well. So please do so. And I, like Andre and Glenn and Denny Thibault and Councillor Sampson, I'm a member of City Council, so these notes will serve a dual role for me tonight.
You have to lobby the provincial government, because us putting an injunction on that place, we have to have justification to do that. No, we just want to keep it there? That doesn't make sense. You got to have people, you got to have, like this gentleman said, petitions that say, I want to see something happen in this community. If you don't do that, you might as well forget about it, because we don't have the dollars in the municipality. We're having a hard time with every budget that we go through. Let's talk about the two strategies you need. You need to find dollars, and you have to lobby the government to get beds in this community. If you don't have a proper plan, you might as well not even have meetings. You got to sign and be active.
The dollars have to come from the LHINs. You have to lobby the LHINs. These are the people who you're going to get the dollars from, or you're not going to get them wrong.
My reason for coming here tonight is that I wanted to make sure that I did my homework. And part of my homework is to listen to you. I'm listening, and I will digest what's been said here tonight and look at other meetings where we're going to get more information. And down the road, I will be part of the group that will try to find a way to make sure that the right decision is made on this issue.
We have all heard rumors in the media that this hospital could be recycled into a university. If so, I feel a medical teaching university with a specialty in geriatric studies would serve the community best.
The fact of the matter is, they're not in the business of long-term care. They have one interest in mind, is to get rid of the facility. We, as a group, cannot expect anybody else, whether it's the province, the feds, or the city, to do our work for us. If we as a group want to do our share, we have to get involved. And by coming out to meetings like this, that's what it's all about.
I've never seen this many people come out in this manner. And I think that shows how important this issue is. There are a lot of people that should be here for tonight, from the hospital board, someone from the LHINs. This was not a secret meeting. It was advertised and promoted right across the board for over a week. You people, all of us in this community, if we care about this facility and we care about our community, we have to let these people know loudly and clearly. There are people on the sunshine list sucking back over $100,000 a year while people are worried about where they're going to live when they're too old to take care of themselves. The glass is upside down, and it's up to you people from this start to tell other people and to make sure that your elected officials, your public servants that are here to listen to you, talk to you, and communicate with you, and sometimes maybe even listen to what you have to say. If you care about this issue, you have to take it from here. There's been some great suggestions, the gentleman talking about an injunction. There's 3 or 4 city councilors here. If they care about this community, they're going to talk about this issue, look at this issue, and they'll get an injunction, and they'll get a discussion, because what's happening at the hospital with the LHINs and the people running this hospital is embarrassing.